Hello there, friends! It's been just a few days after the blast, and the matches at IEM Katowice are already in full swing. True, it's not the most important stage yet, but we already have something to talk about, and at the same time, several interesting things happened in the last few days, so let's get straight to it. We will start with the most sensational news of the recent days, and that is the announcement of the new composition of One Win. All of a sudden, Overdrive decided to post some riddles for us to solve.
Одна победа, взрыв, рок-группа, лес, жук.
The explosion obviously meant Boombl4. One victory implies one win, a rock band is clearly Nickelback, a forest refers to Forester, and Beetle is an unsolved mystery, to be honest. But then everything fell into place abruptly, and all because Overdrive posted the inside without any riddles and everything became clear. A new one-win lineup. The team consists of Boombl4, Nickelback, Travis, Forester, and Denis Zhukov, aka Beetle. But we all know him as Deco. We were waiting for about the same lineup in Bad Boom, but they were clearly taking their time with the whole signing procedures, announcements, and as a result, One Win decided to take advantage of the opportunity. And let's be honest, they collected a decent lineup. And as you know, if Overdrive shares such insider info, then it's most likely to become official, with a probability of 99.9%. So let's just congratulate Boombl4 on returning to the pro scene. He has already taken flight to join the bootcamp, and the team will be preparing for the upcoming qualifiers. And by the way, Boombl4 will not be the captain. He will take the role of a rifler, and Nickelback will most likely become an in-game leader. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting squad. Plus, Hooch will be coaching them. But we've got the question rising, where is Flamey? So there will be no super combo of Boombl4 and Flamey? Yeah, and Flamey will move to another team, which is Boston Crab. So far, that info is not official, only rumored, but if it's true, they're planning to assemble a powerful lineup. Alien, Supra, Danists and Railway. I think we will see all these updated teams before the qualifiers for the major, which will begin very soon. By the way, Ankere and Smuya have teamed up again for this. They took Haji, Plessen and Finnegan to join them. Maybe at least this time they will be able to get past through and get to the major. But we will see it only in a couple of weeks, and in the meantime we can sum up those small results of Blast. Recently the statistics on the reaction speed of snipers were revealed, and you will be surprised, but Simple has become better in that sense since the last blast. 2 tournaments before in a row he was the worst based on this indicator among all participants, and now he has climbed to the 2nd place. Naturally, there can only be one person ahead of him, and no, that's not Zaivu. The Frenchman is just in the penultimate place after Wiz from EG. His reaction speed is 280 milliseconds, Simple has 186. M0NESY has become the best with an indicator of 178 milliseconds. It looks like Simple is slowly regaining his previous shape, but he still loses to the youngster, and this is happening more and more often. And by the way, not only M0NESY had a great tournament if we are speaking about the current blast, but also Hat-Trick based on individual performance. Scope.gg compared M0NESY and Hat-Trick at the debut tournaments. It was Blast group stage in 2022 for the former, and in Hat-Trick's case it was Blast Group Stage 2023. And here's what we see. M0NESY in his debut tournament was brighter, of course, by rating and by ADR, but Hat-Trick misses much less, and by a solid margin. And all this at his first tournament. In general, in the coming years, we are probably waiting for a new powerful confrontation between 2 snipers. M0NESY against Hat-Trick. Aggressive game versus passive style. As for Simple, analysts are not so confident that he will have a powerful return. Here's what Maui Snake, an English caster, says.
I do not think for 2023 Simple will finish in the top 3.
Oh, wait a minute. He didn't even say top 3. Okay. Are you going to oblige us with 3 names that are going above him?
I think it's pretty easy to just pick the people that were just right behind him, actually. And I think that Zaiwu is going to do better than him. I think Brokey could actually do better than him.
Right, wait a minute. I think we've already created the greatest hot take already in this episode. That line alone, because you have to realize you've entered like Freakazoid territory that one. Okay, keep going, man.
Okay, okay. I think these are all potential. So I'm saying he's not going to finish in the top 3, but I'll give more than 3 names names that I think would finish. Okay. If I had to pick 3 that are going to finish in the top 3 right now, it would probably be Shiro, ZywOo, and Nico. That's who I would say is my top 3.
They're pretty safe.
But I think that you get those 3, you add in Axile, you add in potential for Brokey. I think there's just like also the chance M0NESY does better than him this year.
Keep going.
I think
I love it.
The main thing is that basically right now it just feels like Simple and Navi are in a position right now where they're just so hung up on the fact that they're rebuilding, and they know that. And that's why it just seems like the motivation that they've taken into, sometimes Blade will be like, we're not good enough yet or something, but he's not like, oh, give us 2 tournaments and then we'll see what we need to do from here. And I think Simple himself is kind of cooling it off a little bit because he knows that the team isn't in a position to compete for trophies. And that's why I think that he'll take his foot off the gas just enough, whereas everybody else is so hungry right now. All these other names that I'm saying, they're the ones that are really trying to compete for the Katowice trophy, for the Blast Major trophy.
Friends, and what do you think? Won't Simple become the next top 1 of the year? Or will he still be the first and only one in history who has won this award 3 times in a row? Write in the comments below. And since we accidentally touched Shiro here, I need to mention that there were a lot of interviews coming from Cloud9 on the eve of the first match in Katowice. Here's what Shiro says about the changes within the team.
Мы не хотим, чтобы он зажимался на тех же ролях, как и Интерс, но и также хотим, чтобы у него была свобода, чтобы он играл, как он играет. Никаких рамок нет.
And it turns out that M0NESY had much more to say.
I think it's obviously that with new player we have for now more space to create some new things. We can switch on a lot of maps. We did it already, so I hope that everything will be fine in future. So yeah, and the main difference I will say that Intros, it's a guy who making his work, and he was doing like great job. But Buster, it's a player who bring us a bit like let's say fresh air. He can fix some gaps on some maps for us. So it was necessary to change player because of we played in previous roster 2.5 years. It's a huge time, so yeah, that's it.
In general, this is exactly what we have talked about. It was a replacement for the sake of replacement. It was done purely to update the roster, to breathe in new ideas and opportunities. Time will tell whether it will work or not. Well, let's see what kind of atmosphere they had in Cloud9 during their first meeting in the new lineup. We are diving into the IEM Katowice for almost 2 weeks. Now a play-in stage is in full swing. That stage gives the opportunity for the teams to get to the main stage, and the main championship starts tomorrow. It's very simple. The teams have to win in best of 1 first, and then in best of 3 and pass on. And so contestants have only 1 chance to make a mistake. If they lose, they get into the lower grid, and there all the meetings will be held in the best of 3 format. I think everything is clear here, nothing new. Let's move on to the results of the first 2 days. So the first 8 matches were best of 1. The teams were selected randomly, especially since we haven't seen many of them at all for several months in a row. For example, Cloud9 or Furia have not appeared for 2 or 3 months. It's been a long time, that's for sure. However, this did not prevent them from being clear favorites in their matches. Furia destroyed Permita without a single chance, and Cloud9 did the same in the match with the Mongols from IHC. Old pal Habet didn't feel any pressure from the opponent at all. To be honest, there was no real chance for us to estimate Buster's game. The teams are at different levels. But when there will be a tougher opponent, we will have the opportunity to do so. In other games, everything was quite predictable too. BIG defeated Complexity, Fnatic beat EG, Spirit destroyed Greyhound, and ENCE scored an easy victory with Pain, though there were some close matches. First, between OG and Sprout, where OG beat their opponent with great difficulty during overtimes with a score of 19-16, and also between NIP and MIBR. In both teams there were newcomers playing, but Brolan turned out to be the game changer. He managed to shoot 30 and become the key teammate in this difficult victory. Config later admitted that they weren't ready at all. I started discussing the transition to NIP the next day or 2 after I was banned from playing for FaZe at Blast. It was a bit exciting to get into this team because before this championship we had about 4 training sessions sessions in total. I had half of the strat book, they showed me some things, but I had no idea what's going on. I didn't know neither tactics nor callouts, I didn't know anything. Now we're playing a little basic type of CS, like a team from Face It, but I'm trying to make the guys feel comfortable. Well, but they still won, and we haven't watched their second game yet. They faced Spirit, a much more formidable team, and this match was held in a best-of-3 format. Surprisingly, NIP looked very strong here and defeated Spirit 2-0 without any problems. The next best-of-3 match happened between Cloud9 and M0NESY, and each of the teams lost on their picked maps, and everything was decided on the third one, where Cloud9 turned out to be stronger. Buster did not shine particularly on the first two maps, but on the third one he changed his attitude and did his best to win, thereby most likely bringing victory to his team. I think thanks to a good game on the third map, Buster's debut can be called successful, despite the fact that according to the statistics he finished the meeting in the last place with a rating of 0.97. Friends, what do you think about Buster? Write in the comments below, let's discuss. Then we witnessed an unexpected victory from BIG. The Germans confidently beat the Brazilians from Furia with a score of 2-1, while the rest of best-of-3s passed without any surprises. OG defeated Fnatic 2-1, IHC beat Pain 2-0, MIBR defeated Greyhound 2-1, and Complexity defeated Permita 2-0. And Sprout, who showed a good game against OG, expectedly defeated Evil Geniuses 2-0. Thus, OG, BIG, Cloud9 and NIP have already passed through to the main stage. At the same time, Greyhound, Permita, Pain and EG left the tournament. Friends, that's all for today, but we are continuing to watch IEM Katowice. The most interesting part is waiting for us ahead, the final day of the play-in and the main stage, so subscribe to the channel in order not to miss anything. Well, I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. I'll see you soon.